Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the part 2 video of Harry Potter What to Do Next. In this video I will be going into more detail about the storylines that I want to see and what I think they should do with all of the old characters and basically what I want the HBO Max series to be like. So please continue watching, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other end. Bye. So, HBO Max hasn't announced the Harry Potter series yet, but I believe what they have done is they've got a team of people to start making plans for it. To be honest, with everything being rebooted, it's only a matter of time before a Harry Potter World TV show or film comes out on the streaming platform. I'm excited for it. It's a good move for them, and there's a few things that I need them to include in this series to make it great, in my opinion. So here are a few of my ideas. So like I said in part 1 of my What to Do Next Harry Potter video, they need to go back to the school setting. It doesn't have to be Hogwarts, it can be any other magical school, but I think for the HBO Max series to be great, in my opinion, they have to go back to, the school. It has to be, the boarding school, a wizarding school, and I think that would make it great. It will make it better than Fantastic Beasts anyway. So I don't really want the new series to be based on Hogwarts, simply because I think if it's based on Hogwarts, it might ruin the original Harry Potter series, and in my opinion the Harry Potter series was almost perfect. So I would prefer it if it was based on another school, a different magical school, maybe a new magical school in the future. I would prefer it if it had very little to do with Harry Potter himself and his friends, and very little to do with Voldemort as well. I would want a complete new villain, a villain bigger and better than Voldemort, maybe someone that loved what Voldemort did and was inspired and decided to follow his footprints, and something like that. I would also like it if the villain was in school with them as well, so growing with them. So imagine this. Two schools, two magical schools, one boy school, one girl school gets combined as one. I don't know, maybe they don't have the money to keep it running or something like that. So you combine two schools and that's the story right there. So everybody is meeting new people, falling in love and stuff like that, and then you still have the magical lessons. You can still do Quidditch games, the boys against the girls and stuff like that. And then you've also got the element of the bad guy being one of the students. One of the students is growing up being bad. Maybe Voldemort is their influence, and maybe their parents are also into dark magic. So you get to see both journeys. So the journey of the two schools combined into one, normal teen drama sort of thing. And then you also get to see the element of watching the bad guy grow, maybe like a teen Voldemort, Tom Riddle, see how he was like in school, but based in the current day, 2021, 2022 or something like that. And because the Harry Potter universe is so big, the wizarding world is huge, it's an entire planet. You can even have multiple series, maybe a series like what I said before, two schools merged together. And you can also have, a series about the Ministry of Magic or something like that, and a series about, the origins of another supervillain. I feel like they've got so much material to play with, and then they gave us Fantastic Beasts. But yeah, they've got so much material to play with. It can really be fun. But I think they need to get a team of people that are creative, that know how to write and can think outside the box, and it will be really, really, really good if they get it right. To be honest, I don't really need to talk about how they should get us interested in it again, because I feel like we're already going to be interested in it whether we like it or not. It's just such a big part of, I feel like, most people's childhoods and adulthoods, that regardless, we are going to be interested in it. I just hope that they get storylines right. I just hope that they get the feel and the look of it correct, and if they do that, we're gonna be interested, remain interested for 100 seasons, if that's what they decide to give us. One storyline that I think would be really, really good if they decide to ever go there is, it being based in the future, maybe 2025 or 2050 or something like that. And Harry Potter is murdered and they don't know who's done it. There's a whole investigation and then they find out that it's, guess who, the next Voldemort. Someone who's even better, quicker, faster and smarter than Voldemort. Killed Harry Potter to find his ground, to, assert his dominance. And then now there's another wizarding war. I think that would be a really, really good storyline if they ever decide to go there. So Harry Potter can be like Dumbledore, become the head of Hogwarts, and he's murdered. Nobody knows, so it's like a murder mystery as to how he was murdered and stuff like that. And then there's this whole investigation by maybe Harry Potter's great grandchildren or something like that, who are currently students at Hogwarts, and then they find out that it's, Voldemort 2.0, and then there's a whole big wizarding war because of this murder, and it's a storyline that will tie in, the original Harry Potter series and then give us something fresh and new and let us know what happened to the characters after Harry Potter's story is done, basically. And, the Voldemort 2.0 can be a child of a Death Eater that witnessed all of their parents go to prison, siblings murdered and stuff like that, and they're angry and they're looking for retribution. I think that would be a really good storyline. It's going to be quite dark, but still good if they want to go that deep and that far. Another idea I have is based on Azkaban. They can do something where, all prisoners of Azkaban escape, every single one of them, and they have to round them up and put them back into prison. This one will be an interesting one because it's like a crime show. Every episode there's a different criminal and they're locking all these people up, and then maybe some of them join together to create a big group of supervillains or something like that. They attack Hogwarts and other schools. They steal supplies because they're planning a whole big shebang and big war or something like that. That would be an interesting one. So sort of like Criminal Minds / Law and Order or something like that, but the magical version. That will be an interesting concept. I don't think it was ever been done before because it's in a magical setting, and that I think would make an interesting, clever, out of the box series. And I think that series can go on for a very long time, because there's a different episode, a different villain, and then you can also have, the villains all coming together to make an entire, criminal gang or something like that. And there can even be a spin-off like Law and Order, focusing on retrying them for their crimes and trying to put them back into prison. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting one. Another idea that I have that I think would make a good one-off series is maybe humans find out about the magical world. Every single human, the normal everyday ones, they find out about the magical world and they hate it. So they're on a plan to attack and to kill it and stuff like that. And so there's a huge war brewing between the humans and, the witches and wizards. And maybe the humans win. And the few remaining witches and wizards alive then have to reverse time and get everything back to normal as it was. So that would make a good one-off series, simply because if you continue on that sort of timeline, it will then ruin all future Harry Potter movies and shows, if you get what I mean. So it would make a good one-off series where they rewind time to get the world back to how it should be before everybody found out about witches and wizards. Maybe they have to go back in time and kill Sarah Jane or something like that. Another idea that I have is a series based on the Goblet of Fire. This one would be a one-off series, because obviously it only happens every, I think it's 5 years. So a one-off series based on the Goblet of Fire. The challenges and stuff like that, it can be almost like the Hunger Games, sort of that intense sort of competition, and I think that would make an amazing one-off series, but obviously you have magic and stuff like that involved. So imagine this: a few years after the Harry Potter series and years after Cedric Diggory's death, they finally decide to bring back the Goblet of Fire games. Now obviously everybody knows how dangerous it is and everybody wants to be a part of it. So it's only for 17-year-olds and over, and there's new challenges and some old ones like the dragons and in the forest and stuff like that. But this time they can do it over the course of maybe 4 weeks or something like that, a more condensed time of space, so to make obviously the series be a bit better than obviously how the film was. And because there will be no super villain, subplot, like Voldemort and stuff like that, it will give us more than enough time to focus on the actual challenges and them being actually in the challenges, almost like how the book was. But obviously a film is only 2 hours long, there's only so much you can do with that. But in the TV series, you can focus more on them inside the challenges and the actual battle. So it will be more like the Hunger Games in terms of we got to see them in the arena fighting, being hungry, searching for food and stuff like that. I personally think that would be really, really interesting. I'd love to watch something like that. I'd love to see like a Hunger Games series based solely on them in the arena. I think that would be amazing, but that's the video for another day. Now my final idea is a Quidditch World Cup or a Quidditch tournament, maybe between schools or maybe professionals. I would be interested in watching something like that, but they would have to have some really good subplots to push it forward. Maybe like, a Quidditch player was on drugs, or Quidditch player sabotaged the other team. They'd need a really good subplot to push that story forward, but it would be really interesting to watch or read. To be honest, the Harry Potter series, no matter what they do, will always be great. Well, I shouldn't really say that because Fantastic Beasts 2 exists, but if they hire the right writers and the right people, the right actors, they should have no problems making an amazing series, because to be honest, they already have amazing source material and they already have an amazing world of stories that they can dive into and tell. So regardless of what story they decide to tell, I would be more than interested to watch it. I cannot wait to watch it, almost as much as the Lord of the Rings series. I'm excited. I wish they hurry up and announce it. Thank you for watching part 2 of my Harry Potter What to Do Next. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.